Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy D Roy and bring you yet another YouTube video at this time. So basically we're going to be discussing the new water support that was released in the I guess it's Animation Chronicles pack in the OCG. So they come out with some good stuff, some okay stuff, and some just outright bad stuff. So let's go ahead. We got two main deck monsters, two spells and traps, and two monsters, two XYZs in the extra deck. Alright? So let's go ahead and get into it. So first, let's talk about Ice Knight. Now, Ice Knight is a level 4 water aqua monster with 1300 attack, 1200 defense. Its effect read, it gains 400 attack for each aqua monster you control. Once per turn during your main phase, you can activate this effect. You can normal summon one water monster during your main phase's turn. In addition to your normal summoner set, you only gain this effect once per turn. Also, you cannot normal or special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except water monsters. So this card is definitely solid. It's essentially like a heavy infantry, which gets you a normal summon of a level 4 lower sea serpent, but this one gets you a normal summon of a water monster in general, which is definitely solid and can definitely bolster the the Mermo Dex combos and stuff. So it's definitely a solid card. So let's go ahead and go into the next one. This one is a Silent Sea Needle. This one is also a level 4 water aqua, 800 attack, 1300 defense. As effect reads, if you control a water monster, you can special summon this card from your hand. You cannot special summon monsters for the turn you activate this effect except water monsters. You can banish this card from your graveyard and target up to 3 water monsters in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck. You can only use each effect of Sea Serpent Needle once per turn. So this card is pretty solid as well. So if you have a water monster on your field, you can special summon this card. Of course, it's another decent extender, and its graveyard effect is basically, giving you back more resources in your deck so that you can, have more resources in your deck to summon out with cards like, Diva and stuff like that. So this is also another decent addition to the deck in general. Alright, so let's go into the spells and traps. Now, first we have Ice Mirror. You can target one level 3 or level water monster you control. Special summon one monster with the same name from your deck. While you control that face-up special summon monster, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck. Oh god, this card is so terrible. Being able to special summon a level 3 water that's the same as when you target on the field is fine because you can use it for XZ summoning, but unfortunately its restriction stops you from XZ summoning or any other extra deck plays that you might want to do with the card that you summon off this effect. So this card is absolutely atrocious, so you definitely don't want to play this card. Alright, keeping that short and simple. Alright, next we have Ice Barrier. This is a normal trap, and its effect reads, when this attack is declared involving an opponent's monster, change that opponent's monster's attack to 0, and its battle position can't be changed. Also negate its effects. You can banish this card from your graveyard. You cannot special summon monsters there until the end of the turn, except water monsters. Also send one level 5 or higher water monster from your deck to the graveyard. Then you can add one water monster from your graveyard to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. So this card is pretty decent, but unfortunately standard water decks don't really run traps. Battle traps specifically, they definitely don't run, because mermaids themselves, they rely on their monsters and spells to do their work for them. Traps, for the most part, slow the deck down and not allow the deck to be as consistent as it needs to be without them. So otherwise, decks that aren't Mermail specific can probably run this because they're usually of slower builds, because Mermails is probably the fastest, more aggressive water deck you can have at the moment that's like generally seeing play. So this is definitely not for Mermail builds. Alright, so that's it for that. So now we go into the 2 cards from the extra deck. So this one is number 4, Stealth Kraken. Now this card is a rank 4 aqua with 1900 attack, 1500 attack defense. requiring 2 level 4 water monsters, which is good. Not every card needs to be generic. So all face-up monsters on the field become water. Once per turn during your main phase, quick effect, you can destroy one water monster your opponent controls, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half the attack it had on the field. This XC summon card is destroyed. You can switch summon Kraken spawns from your extra deck up to the number of materials this card had, and you can attach one water monster from the graveyard to each of them as material. So this one is pretty good. So you can destroy your opponent's monsters once per turn. Of course, this makes everything water, so it can destroy a water monster once per turn, which is really good, and inflict some burn damage. And it allows you to special summon the next card, which is Kraken Spawn. This one also requires 2 level 4 water monsters. Same stats as number 4. Once per turn during your main phase quick effect, you can destroy one water monster your opponent controls. This card is special summoned by a number XZ monster effect is destroyed. You can special summon other Kraken monsters from your graveyard up to the number of materials this card had. Then you can attach one material from your graveyard to each of them as material. So of course, there is a loop with these 2 cards. This one will special summon this. Stealth Kraken will special summon Kraken Spawn when destroyed, and then Kraken Spawn will special summon Stealth Krakens from the graveyard when it's destroyed. Of course, this combo is very fragile. If you get rid of them by other means than destroying, then this combo absolutely falls apart. So be careful when you're using this loop. Alright, so overall, pretty decent. The spells and traps are no good, really. Except for maybe the trap, it could see some use in water decks. Maybe you have 1 copy or so, but otherwise it won't really see that much use. The spell card is absolutely useless, and the Kurgan XE monsters are cute as a gimmick, but nothing more, and nothing really else to write home about. Alright, so let me know your thoughts on the water cards in the comments, and I'll get back to you guys on that. Alright, so I will leave that at that. So I'll be bringing you guys more videos in the meantime, but until then, pieces. YouTube.